Greetings, DFG here, guys. Hey, hit the subscription button below if you like to. Continue to hear my messages. I hope you do. But anyway, hit the button to come on in, okay? And if you don't hit the button, you're still welcome to come anyway, all right? Hey, guys, today is 9/11, right? September 11th, 2019. Of course, you know, you turn on the news and you see different programs acknowledging September 11th, 2001, you know, and etc., 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 etc. And I'm not about to get into that conversation, not today. I think right now the believers believe and the doubters know why they doubted, okay? And we'll leave it right there. But I did want to talk to you guys about a couple of things, just things that were on my mind and things that I guess I'm saying, I wonder if you're thinking about this as much as I think about it, okay? And let's go with first, I want to talk about the $22 trillion debt. Am I the only one, or has any of you guys gave any consideration, how could a country be in $22 trillion debt and yet still find money to support countries all over the world? I think you heard me talk about that before. We support 186 countries of the 193 countries around the world, and we give about $100 billion a year. So that would be like you having no money in your checking account, yet you can go out and buy anything you want to buy anytime you get ready to buy it. With money. Does that make any sense to you? I didn't think it did. It makes zero sense to me. So you know what I believe? At the end of the day, we've been duped again. There's no $22 trillion debt. That's just something to keep everybody, you know, working hard, keep everybody feeling enslaved, making everyone feel like, you know, I got to work, you know, I got to get out there and I got to grind it out so I cannot be broke because, you know, the country doesn't have any money. Lie, lie, lie. So it's just another slave narrative to keep the country enslaved. You know, it's a government lie, you know what I'm saying, an elitist lie, to deceive you. If they were in $22 trillion of debt, they wouldn't have any cash. I understand credit. They're using cash to support these other nations. So it's a lie. So kind of get that out of your head, or don't get it out of your head. It's up to you. But from this day forward, September 11, 2019, I call bullshit on it. Okay? Next thing I want to talk about, the weaponry. I don't know if any of you guys have read the book of Enoch. I believe some of the, I don't know, I would like to say some of the Hebrews, Israelites, you know, Hebrew Israelites, have taken the time. I know typically when I hear individuals talking about the book of Enoch, it's normally from my Israelite brothers and sisters. But the book of Enoch is every bit of a book in the scripture as the book of Genesis, as the book of Isaiah, as the book, you know, the book of Daniel. It's 100% there. And it was there until it was taken out, you know, by the worldwide religion, Catholic Church. Okay, that's the worldwide religion, whether you knew that or not. But again, I digress. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. But in the book of Enoch, it's something that I want you to understand. When you look at the weaponry that the United States has, or let's just say Europe has, including the United States, Asia, Arabs. You ever ask yourself the question, how did they get the knowledge of that technology to build those type of weapons? Does that something that ever come to your mind? Where did that come from? How could they conjure up that type of information, that type of intellect, if you want to call it that intellect? Well, they did conjure it up. They conjured up the spirits, the demons. And the book of Enoch talks about that. I know some of you guys probably just left the channel. That's fine. You know, you don't have to believe it for it to be true. Okay? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Those of you who are still with me, if you read the book of Enoch, it talks about the falling angels who came down and they were locked into the inner earth. And they knew all the secrets around iron and metal and gunpowder and all those things. All the secrets of weapons of war. And that they would share that with the Gentile nations, the heathen nations of the world, which they have. And they share that information with them not because they love them. They share that information with them so that when they build their kingdoms, I'm talking about the Arabs, the Asians, the East Indians, I'm talking about the Europeans, those weapons, the knowledge of how to utilize those weapons, how to create those weapons, was so that they could protect their possessions here on the earth. And that not only could they protect their assets here on the earth, that they may be able to suppress any type of rebellion from the children of the Most High. That's correct. So those weapons were created to subjugate the children of the Most High. So the children of the fallen ones, you know what I'm saying, those ones that I just mentioned, were taught by the fallen angels how to build these kingdoms and given weapons to how to protect those kingdoms against us, right? The children of the Most High. And I think if you go back, and it's Matthew chapter 13, I know I talked to you guys about this before. You know, if you guys are not studying the history book, then you're ignorant on purpose, and you deserve to be duped. You deserve to be manipulated, bamboozled, hoodwinked. The history is right there telling you who these people are, what these demons have done, what these angels have done, and what they have created. And in the book of Matthew, if you go to chapter 13, around verse 30, it starts talking about what the children of the evil one has done versus what the children of the Most High was currently doing and why they did it. And it tells you that the children of the evil one manipulated the situation, invaded the situation, invaded the conditions. I'll say it that way. Invaded the earth to corrupt it so that it could dominate. It used a parable called the wheat and the tares. And it will explain to you what are the wheat, what's the tares, and what's the earth, what they were fighting over. Ultimately, they were fighting over the earth. The wheat and tares were in a battle over the earth. No different than what you're actually seeing. For those who are doubters of the word, then explain to me why is the word so accurate, and it was written thousands and thousands of years ago. You so-called non-believers. What facts that you have to validate the facts that we have of what's going on right now? You have none. The only facts you have is the fact that you're conjured up in your head, and of course your demons, ancestors have influenced you with to give you false lie knowledge, false lie IQ. You know, the same false IQ that you use in these colleges, claiming that you're supreme and you're the most intelligent, and now it's starting to come out that a lot of your knowledge has come from cheating, stealing, manipulating, paying people off, etc. Again, it doesn't apply to everybody, but it applies to the masses. But that being stated, check out the book of Enoch. It'll explain to you exactly what's going on right now and what you're seeing right now with your very own eyes and what you're experiencing right now. Okay? And then as I continue to share, something else I wanted to add into this equation. This whole 400 years of slavery celebration, or, you know, I guess the 40th anniversary of the enslaved. You've heard me say it before. I think it's ridiculous to call it any kind of commemoration, celebration. I think that's really, really, you know, asinine of the Hebrews. Because of the Israelites, why would we be taking time to acknowledge oppression? It makes absolutely no sense. In the 400 years of oppression, are we still saying that we're still enslaved today? Is that an admission? Is that why Trump was so comfortable in talking about the 400 years? Because he realized that you're still as much a slave today as you were in 1619? Have you given that any thought? I suspect that you are. And to put it this way, if you don't have the freedom to do whatever you choose to do, I'm talking about righteous, I might add, but if you don't have the freedom to come and go as you please, to live the way you want to live without being scrutinized, you know, governed, punished, humiliated, disrespected, threatened, then you're still a slave. So Trump is winking at you, as well as the rest of the West. They're all winking at you. And they're co-conspirators. I'm talking about the other nations, the Asians, the Arabs, the East Indians. Those nations, they're right there laughing and giggling their asses off. Oh, the Africans are too. Not all of Africa, because as you know, there are certain tribes down in Africa that are also children of Israel. Okay? And obviously, some of us are here in the Americas, both South and North America, as well as the islands, I might add. So, and that's why you look in those areas, South America, the islands, North America, you see the oppression of the children of the Most High. And it's still going on. So I just wanted to, again, challenge you on your 400-year celebration, your commemoration, your dancing, your festivals. Yeah, your festivals. You're, again, being duped. And you know, also, guys, when you celebrate your oppression, you tell your oppressors you're comfortable in your oppression. When people are not comfortable, they rebel, they resist. You follow me? They fight back. They take up, arms to free themselves, as Malcolm said, by any means necessary. But when you walk around and have parades and have talk show hosts and programs and festivals and, carnivals, etc., all you're really doing is telling the Most High that you're not ready to be free, that you're still comfortable being under the curse. And what is that curse, you might ask? That is the curse of walking away, taking on the ways of the heathens. Their culture, their holidays, their celebrations, their mannerism, their ways, their philosophy, their doctrine, etc. Joining their fraternities. And that's another thing. I mean, how could you be Israel and join fraternities? Greek fraternities at that. How could you be? Understanding that the symbolism that's involved, the occultivism that's involved in that, both female and males. Why would you ever participate in that type of, I guess I said it already, it's occultic, secret societies, programs where you have to be initiated into. Initiated into what? Prestige? So you're saying that your organization, your fraternity, that you being a part of, and this includes obviously the Freemasons and all those other groups, the Eastern Stars, that you need to be a part of that to feel like you are important, which says to the Most High, you reject him because he said that you were important, that he knew you before you were conceived in your mother's womb, and that you were called, that you were chosen, and that you should come out from among them and be separate from them. That is what Yahuwah said to you. That's in your scripture, that's in your word. And some of you guys might say, well, it may be in there, but I don't know where it is. It's called Google. You can just take and Google in a quote, and it'll take you right to the scripture and what verse, and you can then do your research and do line upon line, precept on precept, if you really wanted to know, if you really cared. But when you don't want to know, because you're comfortable in your captivity, you're comfortable in your bondage, then Yahweh will continue to turn his head from you. He won't hear your prayers and allow these lies, this deception, this manipulation to continue on over and over and over. And I'm going to pull this thing in. I know I kind of talked about several things here. Maybe it means something to some of you guys, maybe not. But let's go and finish up with the reparations conversation. Again, this country can give hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars away, each and every year. Yet it looks at you and says, for you, I'm not cutting you no check, so-called black man, African American. To you, so-called black man, African, we don't owe you nothing, to you. And then you children, of the oppressors who say you had nothing to do with the oppression, you still stand there and you go along with it. You're the ones who are actually saying it. You say, well, I had nothing to do with what my ancestors did. What about the things that's going on right now that your neighbors are doing, your police officers are doing, your elected officials are doing, your government is doing? Do you have any say in that? I'm listening. Oh, yeah, you do have a lot. As a matter of fact, they are your representatives. They are your voice. So yes, you're as guilty as they are. And judgment is going to come. And I know you don't like that. You don't want judgment. That's why you're building your weapons, and that's why, you're trying to get into space, which is something, I'm not going to get into that. Up is down and down is up. I'll leave that. Let you figure that one out. But you're trying to escape, or you're trying to build all your weapons and your technology so that you can protect it and keep it. But you'll have it for a little while longer. To Yahweh's people, Hosea 4 and 6. You follow me? Until they wake up, till they humble themselves, till we come together. You'll keep it until then. So you may have it for another year, you may have it for another 100 years. But the day is going to come that all the weaponry you have, all of the cunning ideas and wisdom that you have, the subtlety that you've got, all of it is going to come right back, and it's going to be a snare, and it's going to be a trap to you, and it's going to be a trap into your children. Why? Because you haven't repented. I'm talking to you Europeans, Asians, Arabs, the oppressors of the people, Africans, the oppressors of Yahweh's people. It's all going to come back, and he's going to reward you 100-fold for your wickedness. Okay, you heard the scripture, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth? Just think about it. Think about all of the wickedness you do when you go into business, and the cunningness and the cheating that you do, the manipulating of the stock markets, the manipulating of deals, the lies that you tell, the people that you stab in the back to get ahead. All of that's going to come back and it's going to haunt you. It's going to destroy you, and it's going to destroy your children's children's children. Yes, that's the consequence for your wickedness. You're not getting off scot-free. Enjoy your heaven while you still have it, because your hell is going to be beyond. As a matter of fact, Revelations talk about it's going to be so bad that it's going to be weeping and gashing of teeth, and that your fire, your destruction will never cease. So enjoy it, those of you who choose to live that way. Or you can walk away from it and join up with us. Get some teaching. Get aligned with the true people of the Most High, the sons and daughters of Israel. And let us help you, guide you, and save you from your own selves. Or continue to do it and perish. So it's a rant, I know it, but you needed to hear it, and I damn sure needed to say it. So till next time, DFG, talk to you guys soon, and look above. Watch the clouds, for your redemption draweth near. Bye now.